I'm guessing you're one of those writers that are very inspiration driven. Like when you feel that motivation or that inspiration, that's when you write. Because I know there's a lot of different kind of philosophies on like how people write and like what their process is.
For the most part, yeah. Sometimes I'll just be struck with something weird from just combining different thoughts or things that I've seen, and just like something will just hit me in a weird way, and I'll be like, what if I write something about that? That doesn't make any sense, but what if I do? And it just somehow it just works out. I don't know how. Like Christ. I think I have one. It's a mime that's full of spiders that they come out and they form the objects that he's trying to mime, which defeats the purpose of being a mime when you have props. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just a bunch of random bullshit thrown together, but somehow it works.
Do you have any like stories that like if you could go back in time and rewrite, you would?
Well, the beautiful thing about the wiki is we don't have to. We can rewrite things anytime we want, but there's a lot of stuff I would like to do with When Day Breaks. I had some very, very good critique from somebody on it who is a lot more critical than the majority. And like most things, I open a file. I was like, yes, this is what I'm gonna rewrite. It's gonna be so much better. Gonna do it one day, and I just never did. But yeah, there's a lot I can do with that to rework it, just to improve it, make some micro improvements throughout it.
What were some of those critiques? I'm curious if you remember.
It was really just mainly down to the way the prose is structured, and then I mean on top of that, there's something else that I really wanted to work on with that. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know, but it was really just down to the way that the second person, the way the prose is structured, and certain things. It was also about a lot of the elements don't really marry very well with the personal story, and then like the apocalyptic scenario just didn't come together and meet each other in the middle as best as it could. So there's a couple small things I could have done to improve that. That I've been thinking of. And then in terms of the personal story between the main character and her wife and like their whole backstory, like I don't really explore, like kind of gloss over it for the majority of the article because I'm focusing on all the grim, dark bullshit happening around them that I forgot to really make a very concrete narrative for the characters themselves. So there's a lot, and I have more in mind about what I want to be going on there, but I've yet to implement it. So it would definitely be, if I were to rewrite anything from the ground up, it would be that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I find for me, what I like to do for my writing style is very much write a story out, put it on the shelf for 2 weeks. This is actually what Stephen King does. I actually learned this from him, and then come back to it and completely rewrite and tear up the entire thing. Put it on the shelf again for another few weeks. And then by the third time, I feel like that's usually where I'm kind of at. Because I find with me, the first time I write something, it's very like mediocre and just kind of cliche. I find that's like almost like my brain trying to lay out the foundation. And then the second time I almost completely throw out everything out and kind of work off the few gemstones that are hidden in the first draft. Rebuild that, it's maybe a little less cliche. Yeah. And then by the third time I feel like, okay, that's where like things are kind of connecting a bit better, and they feel a bit more fresh and not as like generic or meh.
That's a good method. I just go through once and I throw it up there and I just cross my fingers and hope that people like it. I don't do too much rewriting because like with the exception of making sure my grammar's on point and all that best I can. I'm not the grammar police. I don't like to just stay focused on one thing. I go over it in my head too much, and what's going to happen is like I'll never finish it. Like that's not right. Right. I need to fix this, and so I don't absolutely obsess over perfection. I send it out and I forget that it exists.
Yeah, there's actually a really famous saying that I try to live by, where it's the 80-20 rule, where basically the rule is that when you work on something, you should just put in 80% of your effort and don't put in that last 20%, because that last 20% is where you start nitpicking and you try to get that perfectionism, and that last 20% ends up taking so much more time and work than the first 80%, that by the time you do trudge through that 20%, if you even finish it, most of the time the project won't even finish after that. You've wasted so much time sitting on this story that you could have written so many other works and learned so many more things just by getting the first 80 done and just putting it out there.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like a rule I like to live by. It seems like you've unconsciously embodied that, or consciously. I don't know if you knew about that.
I think consciously, because I know that and I've seen in other people. I used to do I used to be on the critique team for the SCP Wiki, so I'd see people like revision a draft and it's just like slightly better, and I'm just like, oh, is there anything else I could do? Like, no, you're good, man. Just let it go. you got to just let it go at some point. Just let your baby fly.
So for people who don't know about like all these teams and things like that, how does that work? How do you get onto these critique teams? Is it a very formal thing? Is it very loose?
It's kind of loose. I mean, that's different because they're always changing up how staff is structured on the wiki and how the recruitment process goes. But for me, it was I think I just left feedback here and there because I just was trying to help other authors out. This was way back when I just first started writing. And I just comment things to try to help people improve. And eventually, after doing that for a while, it was the captain of the critique forum team, and Zin. She approached me and she, hey, I want to do this like 2-3 a week. You'd be like a junior staff, so on and so forth. So I did it, and eventually, after doing it for so long, being a little more involved in the site and stuff, after that, bumped up eventually to operational staff, and then I kind of had a burnout, and I was just like, I just can't really do the staff thing anymore, and went back one more time for a little while, then quit again, and then I just do things whenever I feel like. There's a couple initiatives that I made. And I don't think I was staff when I did these things. I was just trying to make things for the community. Have you seen the user curated lists?
No, actually, I don't think I have.
All right, so user curated list is like, because I always see, I was a moderator on Reddit for a while, and I always see people like, oh, can you find me the list of a whole bunch of, can you just give me a list of a bunch of scary SCPs or exploration SCPs? I want to see something that's heartwarming. Send me a bunch of those articles. And 99% of the time, because Reddit is primarily used by like the off-site fandom, usually it'd be like 3 or 4 things that every single person has already read. So there really wasn't much use out of that. So I made these to kind of a bunch of collections for different types of articles. There's like a horror one, sci-fi, fantasy. So new users can find this and easily just say, oh, this is the type of content I want to find, especially with how big we're growing. They can find that type of content. And I made a lot of this, and then since I more or less left the site, quit staff, all that crap, I kind of set it up for the community to kind of curate these lists, try to find things that are pretty good to read, that fit a certain category, and set it up for the benefit of new readers. I think the newest one we have, Sir/47 is the user. Here we go. He made the heartwarming category for us. It's got 50 articles, so if you want to see something like the bear with a heart of patchwork, which is pretty popular, but similar articles to that. If you want to read things of that nature instead of like, oh, another grimdark SCP, oh, another world ender, oh, another murder monster. If you want to get back beyond that and find something that's just kind of like a little sweet, he's got you hooked up now. So
it's cool. One of my friend's moms, she's showing interest in SCP, so I'm gonna send them to these lists to her, because I think it kind of takes away the intimidation of scouring through literally thousands and thousands of stories.
Yeah,